28th. Let me just change this here. What we got here? 6:03. November 28th. It's 6:03 p.m. in the east. I'll just change this to reflect what this California time is, even though I'm not on the server. I'll get that going here. Just allows me to keep it, even though I have a clock right here. Whoops. 15. I got the old date in, but that's, it doesn't matter. Reset the system time maybe. I'll just apply it. There we go. Hey, I see a cloud. It's the first cloud I've seen in a while. Oh, boy. So yeah, I'm over at Borax again, where I left off with my last experiment. This is with Mike's data, with whatever I've been trying to. Wow, I got like there's like one little cloud over there. Is that it? Dang. Okay. So, actually, you know, I'm gonna grab a drink before I lose my voice. I'm getting thirsty anyway, so I'll be back in a second here. So anyways, yeah, we got through the train analysis. What I didn't do, I want to do some industry analysis. That's why I've got single player and Mike's data up, because I'm going to go through that. Mike and I were having a discussion tonight, or actually just, well, not, we weren't having a discussion. We had a discussion the other night in chat a little bit, and we also have been sharing a few emails today. He's out, usually he's out on Monday and Wednesday nights, so he's probably not he's not going to be watching this live stream anyways, but I have given him as much data as I can. I do want to provide a little bit more. Sorry, I had to stop there and swallow. But I do want to provide a little bit more in regards to making sure we are dealing with as close to prototypical as possible. Now, we got an interesting little situation here, and it's one of these things where you go a certain direction, and some people like it, and other people, they just don't. And the thing is, with the way version 2 is, a lot of people don't really have to worry about servers so much. And it was an interesting comment Mike was making. He says there's times where he just almost wants to go in. I think it was Mike said that. Just go in single player. And I kind of, you know, I was kind of thinking the same way. I actually went on last night, and I went on the Smiley server. Nobody had logged in. I just took an Amtrak train out on the Hudson. I was going 100 miles an hour down, and it was the speed limit, 110 or whatever the heck it was, until I ran into the goofy signals that don't want to clear for whatever reason. But on the other side of Albany. And I can go on about the AI issues with that route, but anyways, I don't want to get started on that. I try to be positive because I see a lot of negativity going on still about version 2, and overwhelmingly it's positive. So yeah, when I kind of nag about something, it's usually because I'm in a bad mood, or who knows, or I'm down or something like that. And last night was weird for me. I was doing some stuff for a while, and then I just, you know, came on the California server. As far as I know, now mind you, there wasn't a quote-unquote announcement of times to start or everything, but we could not get anybody on until it was too late. At some point, I just said to Mike, I said, look, I says, top of the hour, I'm calling it. If nobody comes on, I'm not sticking around. I got other things I could be doing. And I ended up going back and I ended up doing some of the statistics. And when I got bored of that, I went in and I went into the cell. Actually, I went into A line. Got to check that out. I'm not. I got an explanation as to what's going on there. Now, it's the interesting thing about A line, and this actually relates a lot to where I was in a frame of mind not too long ago. And this was back in when the servers first started out. I know we're looking at, I'm just commentating here, we're looking at an industry and one cloud, I don't know if it's coming closer or going further away, but anyways, I just thought I'd throw this out here because this will kind of set the stage for this evening and where I want to take this. A lot of this is going to be behind the scenes, a lot of this is going to be setting up things. But what I wanted to get to is the issue that we're getting, at least right now. AI for me has always been the opportunity to fill in those missing gaps of user interest. Unfortunately, in order to maintain that, what I would call maintain the actual realism, and our realism has actually gone up as far as the trains, in order to maintain the density of the main line as realistic as it is, and knowing that the AI in version 2 or whatever, the industry system is not perfect, and we know that. We know it's not. We're basically not at that RTS level, but in so many ways it's so much easier and so much better, and it actually is more powerful. But we aren't at that. That's that one thing, and I knew that was there. Unfortunately, in order to do it that way, we had to take a step back from this whole 24/7 run trains whenever the hell you want. And I know that works. That's working on some servers, which is great. I'm glad it is. Whatever works for you guys, I'm totally for, and I'm happy that everybody's happy. And there's been some people in California who have gone over to A-Line, to be quite honest. But when I looked at when A-Line first was coming around, and Selkirk and A-Line was being developed at the same time. As a server owner of California at the time, which I still was, I still had the only RTS server and then I was looking for the first person that was going to either take. Originally, I think Tom was going to take over California and I was going to take Florida. At the time, I was, at the time, because of that, all because of the hump. I wasn't too excited about giving up on California. In retrospect, now I wish I went the original plan. I wish I had Florida, because one, I would have been closer to home. I would have had the data. I would have had everything that I wanted. Now, mind you, in retrospect, Tom's done some incredible stuff with. He's taken RTS to the next level as far as what the frequencies could do, and he's done some incredible stuff. I was actually considering today, seriously considering, not to compete, and I've said this before because somebody wanted. I actually for those Scott Miller, he you guys would probably SMRY. He was a longtime RTS member. Admin at one point. He was going to. He's talking about putting up a server, and I think it's a California server as far as I know, and I basically gave him all the advice, and I've actually encouraged people, if they want to put up a server, by all means, I got no problem with it, because it's not about competition, really. It's about serving the community, and different times a day, or different ways of doing things. There's so many opportunities that we can do. course, we don't want to divide the people either, but at the same time, we want people to be happy. But you got to be, when you're a server operator or an owner, you got to be happy. And I was bogged down. I was totally getting stressed out by California. That's why I gave it up eventually. It was just too much. I couldn't develop RTS. Now I'm in a situation where I'm still trying to develop California. So now I've switched my focus from RTS over to getting as much data and in-depth guts of what version 2 can do. And this little boron experiment that I did the other night, that's a big step forward, because I wasn't too sure if we could do it, and it wasn't included into the original world, and I don't even know if it was even considered, but I found a way to make it work. So there are ways of making it work, but you have to be willing to test hypothesis and see what happens. And sure enough, we were able to basically trick the system into saying, okay, you have an industry switcher, call for a demand of a bunch of intermodal cars, which it will never do, and that's all it needed so that it would pop it over into the industry track. And it's kind of weird. Now, if you didn't see that, check the boron experiment. That'll go into it. It'll tell you what this was all about. Big success, because that's going to add just another dimension to everything. The other way to even go further with this is you have, I think there's 2 track sections here, and that last track, had there been some smaller sections, I could have created an industry for each one of them. But I decided to leave it simple for now. I'll complicate things maybe later. Some other industries you can't, because what happens is if you create a loading area that's only a few cars long and you have this big yard and you got this big train coming in, what happens then, the way we used to do it, was we would have the switchers come in. Now, we don't have a variable demand. We just basically bring the cars over and away it goes. Now, boron's not currently like that on the California server. We're not back to where we were before. So we're still in a transition phase, trying to get all that things. I don't think the industries are going to get tweaked too much. I'm hoping the train data does. But anyways, I'm getting off the subject a little bit to where I wanted to take this now. We're in a bit of a predicament now, because we basically don't have as many humans to basically warrant running trains. So Tom's Florida. Mike proposed to me about possibly running either in lower numbers, which he is against, and so am I. And there's a reason for this, and I know some people are a little bit all, blah and antsy, and they don't want to be so perfect. They just want the opportunities to dispatch and do whatever. And I don't think they see big picture. We see big picture. California is a huge division. This isn't like Florida. And the reason why I say this isn't like Florida is because there is so much mainline operations in comparison to Florida. That's why I was interested in Florida. That's why I was interested in Selkirk. Those 2 routes, I'm still interested in Selkirk, and had they not screwed up Selkirk, and I do mean that I mean Selkirk, I'll tell you right now, I'll give you the positives of Selkirk. Selkirk, by far, out of all 3, is the best graphical, beautiful route there is for Run8. Unfortunately, with all that operation, and the AI system's a little bit screwed. There's some signal systems that are screwed. I don't know what happened with some of the signals on version 2, but I was running that Amtrak train last night, and I was like, okay, now I'm at a red signal just outside of Albany, and I'm thinking to myself, did anybody test this thing? I mean, seriously, one run, and I'm at a red signal, and it's not even, the board does not make sense. You got trains showing up on different sections of the board that aren't even part of it, And I know I wasn't doing it wrong, or maybe there's an update that they had that didn't get put into the install. I don't know what happened, but it is a mess. And then you can't spawn anything at a Mohawk, which really defeats the purpose of having a Mohawk route, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, but anyways, I've gone on about that. The thing was, had that been available, it would be a no-brainer for me right now. Despite the fact that Smiley's doing what he was doing, I would step in and I would push Selkirk further, because actually Smiley was looking at one time. He wasn't too sure if he would be able to host, and I think he's a little bit down that he's not getting that many people on his server. And I said, I basically said at one time, I said, I'll take it. I'll take it and I'll put it up. But just because of that AI issue, I'm not doing it. And until that's resolved, I'm not doing it. Because the reason why I was going to do that was, number one, I was going to run it a little bit differently. I wasn't going to run it like a traditional Selkirk. I was going to run it as a proto-lance or freelance type environment, where I don't know the details. I was just going to be creative and do whatever I wanted, run whatever trains I wanted, make it, do whatever, have some fun with it. And then, run, dispatch, take time out, whatever. I mean, there's so many things you can do with version 2. You can dispatch, you can stop, you can slowly take the numbers down so you're not running as much. There's all kinds of things that you can do to tweak. For California, though, I mean, I'm still not ready to give it. This thing is built for mainline trains. It's not built for switching. It's built for running mainline trains. And yeah, there's places you can switch like this and that, but they're so far in between. I mean, Cadiz to local takes 8 hours. It's built for mainlines. And yeah, you're going to need humans in between there to run the switchers, and that's the issue. If we're just running main lines and nobody's watching, or nobody's benefiting from it other than the dispatchers, I mean, I can go train dispatcher 3 and run a dispatcher territory. So anyways, Mike and I were talking, or he emailed his idea, and I was already thinking about it today, and I said, I got to try running. He says he's run the territory on his own. I want to see if he can implement the train changes that I've recommended from the other night. And if he can do that, I want to go at it. I'll run for 2.5 hours tomorrow night. And I will run basically by myself, despite the fact that Mike's there to help me and others. I just want to do one trial, put myself through whatever, and see how stressful it is. The problem with this is the problem that can happen is this. If it's too stressful, I ain't going to want to do it. However, if it's potentially stressful enough to where I can get through it, and we have dispatchers that are capable of doing it, then we can always tag up and take turns. So I'll dispatch on a Tuesday, maybe Mike will dispatch on a Thursday, or something like that. Then at least Mike can run and I can run, so there's a benefit. There's a part of me that's like, there's a side of me that's saying, yeah, this is pretty cool. And from a train running perspective, or actually being able to run the trains, I'm not worried about what the board looks like. I'm not worried about what all the other trains are doing. All I want is the activity. I want to have those realistic trains. So you can be a train crew, and you can be critical of a dispatcher if you're sitting around and wondering why you're sitting around at a signal, but you can't be critical of the entire line. So yeah, the dispatcher might pay a little bit more attention to a player train, but in reality he has to pay attention to the whole board. So if he's got things lined up and everything's going good, things should be fine. There might be some trains coming on territory that get delayed or stuff like that. Or there might be other trains, like if you're following a train and you're running a bunch of yellows, you're not going to know the difference. If you're running a bunch of yellows, well, you're running a bunch of yellows, and I mean, you're not going to, yeah, you might be complaining to your conductor, but there's not much you're going to be able to do about it. Unless you're a hotshot intermodal, then you might call the dispatcher and just curious of what the issues are. But thing is, with AIs, they're not going to call and complain. They're just going to do their thing. So from a dispatcher standpoint, it's not as difficult as the real job, so there is some flexibility. So I'm just going to take a shot at it tomorrow. I'm going to see if it's doable. Hopefully the trains are going to be updated. I'm not too sure if he'll be able to tweak them or whatever. I'm hoping he does, because I don't want it easy. I don't want it easy for me tomorrow night. I actually want it at the levels. So anyways, I wanted to say all that, but if things don't work out that way and we can't get 100% traffic levels, we may have no choice but to bring it down so that we can run solo dispatchers and maybe cap off the number of trains or something. I hate to do that. I really do. Because, it takes away from, it really takes away from the dispatching experience, and it really takes away from the actual operations experience. And we've had some pretty good operations in some of the more interesting sessions. Now I got a guy with a motorcycle outside here. But anyways, gotta get a place of my own. Yeah, okay, buddy. He's working on his motorcycle outside, and he's either dogs or motorcycles or zoos or So anytime I want to do something, that happens. But anyways, I'll stop yapping for now, and I'm going to get back to the data. And this involves, I wanted to see as far as the trains. Oh my god, this is so freaking annoying. Working on his bike or whatever the heck he's been doing. It's like right outside my window. Okay, good. So, other than that, I'm left alone and I do my own thing. So, I'm going to go through the train data one more time just to see before I start dealing with industries. But before I do that, let's see what train data we're talking about here. That's Control L. Okay. So we got a 3 to 15. I'm not too sure about that one. 3 low, 15 high, 16. So I'm going to put this in Notepad for a moment. Actually, I don't know if I'll put this on the sheets. Maybe I'll put that at the sheet, actually. Put this back at the sheet from the other day. Just to put it in its own sheet, that way I can do all the calculations that I need to. California trains. So this was this isn't going to take too long, actually. Actually, I'll put it right here. So if we are at a 3 low, 15 high, 60 maximum, so I'm going to put an outline on this just to make sure we know what we're doing as far as the separation goes. Alright. Just because these are all separate. So low, high, maximum. Now I want to go through the so what I'll do is I'm going to take this 1007. This was the number of spawns that we figured out. If you take That's a weekly total too? I think it is. Yeah, I had it because weekly wait. So now I bring this down here. So L5 divided by 7. So what that does is that's saying that there's 143.85 spawns. And then the average average spawn average weight spawn, put that there. So the average weight for the spawn, so the daily weight, what that means is 1007. Remember, we were using, if you were around yesterday, we were using 7 for dailies, or you basically put in the number as far as how many days. So I divided that by 7 and I got that number. So that is the average daily, or average 24-hour period spawn. So now we take that, if I take 24 hours and divide that by L6, I'm getting it 0.16. Hold on a second here. I'm not too sure about that. I divided that by 24 hours. I gotta put this into a time format. That ain't right. Hang on a second here. Let me do 1 divided by L6 and see what that comes up with. Oh, there it is right there. So I would have 6 times 2448. Hang on a second here. Every 10 minutes I'd have 6 times 24. Yep. So there we go. That being said, we're pretty much at the average wait spawn is 10 minutes, so we could up this to 5 to average it out, because right now it may be a little too high actually, because we're not dealing with the manifest coming out in the locals. So we could bring up the low to 5, which would mean that it would fall between 5 and 15. That would give you your 10 minutes. Right there, the law of averages would state that that's probably spawning more trains than what's happening. Let me just see here. So going back to, I'm just going to go into this operating session. I'm going to go back to the train frequency suggestion, and I'm just going to do a quick reply here before I go on to the industries. Just did a quick calculation of the total spawns that we have in the system. It averages out to be one spawn every 10 minutes. The system is currently set for a minimum of 3 and a max of 15. What we could do in order to, well, okay, no, sorry. This could mean that we are actually getting more spawns than there should be. However, keep in mind that due to IM trains being dominant and not as much manifests and stuff to slow you down, the territory may not appear to be as large. To be safe, we can increase the minimum of 3 to 5 while keeping 15 as a max. Or we could go the other way and increase and keep minimum at 3 while increasing the max to 18. Okay. So that does that for the analysis. What I didn't get into is the average how long the trains take, because that changes for various trains and types. But that's good. So that's all I wanted to do in regards for this portion. I wanted to make sure we knew. So that is your average wait spawn is 10 minutes. Weight, not weight. Weight as in weight of the total trains that we have here, which is 1,007 spawns over the course of a week. Of course, we're averaging it to a flat average per day because we don't have the scheduling system in place for the AI, and we don't have management of the frequencies. So it's just going to choose a number right now. It's choosing a number between 3 and 15, which probably weights it a little bit lower. So you're getting too much frequency by a tiny bit. 15, 14, 12. You're probably at actually, let me see here, 16, 15, 14, 12. You're probably at 9, so you're at an average of 1 minute shorter, which doesn't seem like much, and it probably isn't, but over the long run it could be. It may or may not be, because everything is random. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. What I'm going to deal with now is I'm going into the, we've gone through the various trains. What I'm going to do now is, these are California trains. What I want to do is actually go into the industries now. And this one, there's probably, I'll just close this up for now. Actually, I just want to read, I want to read this one forum post while I'm here, just to see, because I think Tony said he might be back, so that's good. I just want to read this, guys, and then we'll just keep on going. Since I was here, I'm just curious. Sometime in the evening. Oh, okay, so he's back. And I'll try, if I can make it, then I may be able to assist with de-essing if there's interest in going later. Yeah, probably a lot of catching up to do. Okay, cool. So that's good if he can make it. If not, it's good for him to be back. And that's what happens. We get a lot of people who, I mean, his schedules change quite a bit. There's a lot of people right now. I know Ski. He was really busy this month. So he's been on and off a tiny bit, but he hasn't been able to get out as much as he would like. Hopefully we'll get together. I'm already emailed him today. I'm hoping he's free on Sunday, because instead of twiddling my thumbs on Sunday during the day waiting for people, I'm just said, I'd rather get together with him and discuss a few things as far as operations. I don't know if he's going to be free this Sunday yet. I think his schedule is starting to free up in December, but I don't know if it's too soon, so we'll see. But I know there's at least a couple of projects that we could be possibly looking at in the horizon. Actually, there's three. One thing that's been thrown out there is this AI dispatcher thing. I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if he can do it, I should say. I can design the damn thing, but as far as program it, forget it. I'll do my best to do my part, but that gets out of my territory. The RTS changes, I could probably do those if necessary. It's not at my high priority yet to change the code, but it is something that if it's still something that people want, I'll see about it. I would rather avoid it and work on other things, like, for example, the external dispatcher. Stuff that I can't do, actually. The external dispatcher, being able to get it to have a bot so that we can go onto the sheets and be able to automatically update train information and stuff like that. I'm more inclined to want to do something like that personally. But we'll see. Well, that's why we got to talk. We haven't talked since version 2 came out, and before that it was a lot of, gee, I wonder if it's going to be compatible with RTS, and we really had no idea what kind of system was going to be involved. Both of us were pretty pleased with the system, regardless of any of its shortcomings. So that's cool. Okay, so now we got to get into the industry. So when you either have the world file, or you can go from first of all, you can't do this when you're on the server. So if you're on the California server, you do have some limitation. I was told the other night that it doesn't write everything, but it does write some things. But what I'm going to look at now is the makeups of the trains themselves. So what I'll do is I wanna start spawning some trains here. We got I'm just gonna do some tests here. First, I'm gonna spawn about 10 trains. I don't know why. 10, maybe I won't spawn them all, but I'll see what I can do. First of all, I wonder if I can. Do we have a train there, or which one's that? Oh, okay, that's the Chai Sam. I'm gonna get rid of that train, I think. Actually, I'll get rid of both of these. I think I can get rid of that one too. Is that, what the heck is that one? I can't even see that. That's a nice... It's just a stop train, so I'll get rid of this, and I'll get rid of that. So now, what I want to do is I want to generate. That's cool. Well, wait a minute. Hang on. Gave me that. So spawn points. We're looking at needles. I think it's this one here. So we're looking at train types now. Cool thing about this, and you don't get this if you're on a client, but if you are the server, and this is, I think, what Florida's doing. Let me see, mixed freight. Or can they? No, you can't spawn a specific one, can you? I thought you could, but I guess you can't. Okay. So you can't spawn a specific one, but it just so happens it really doesn't matter. So I'm looking at all this, as I was saying before. Yeah, so we got the aces there. The rest may have ES40s or whatever. So the ES44 is gone there. That one UP doesn't show up. What the heck? Oops, I don't want to do that. Oh, SP shows up with ES44. That's what it is. Okay. And we were noticing the other night too that there's some aces. There's a 01 UP ace, but there's also a 02 UP ace. So if you spawn with UP aces, there's a possibility, and I'm not too sure if it's just UP. There might be NS as well, that you will wind up getting a Run8 engine livery instead. You won't want that, but you're gonna get it. The way I see it, that's. I mean, there's ways around it, but that's what's happening. I'm seeing the UP one showing up. So, and at the other side of the coin, passenger trains aren't spawning the newest equipment. At least I don't think they are. I don't think they are. Let me see. Do we have passengers on here? No, we don't have passengers set up. I thought we did. Oh, he doesn't have. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? There's A3. I'm gonna spawn. So this is what you can do to test things out, right? So we do have. He's got low. Now I've given some figures as far as what's the average. So that's main one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just spawn it now because it's gonna be A3. Let me just see the information on it. Doesn't give you any particulars. It gives you this. As far as I know, and I will spawn this. I'm just looking at the cars. So let me see what this consist looks like here. Is it going to be the same one every time? I haven't tried that. So you get a baggage, transition, sleeper, dining, lounge, cafe, coach. See, it doesn't look too random to me. Looks like it's preset, but. And the other thing is, I don't think we can get onto. No, we can't get into that. Yeah, these ones are. I got a funny feeling you can't spawn the new stuff. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I wish. One thing I wish they would do in a future update or whatever. They got these wonderful little things here. I wish they would go further and then actually break down the types so that you can determine what cars show up. Or add more, perhaps. Because I don't know what's going to happen when they start adding new cars and if they don't fall within a certain type. Because there's a lot of different things like, there's unit stone trains out in Florida that unfortunately this will not spawn. We actually have unit steel trains here in California that we can't spawn either. So, I mean, it's not a big deal, but there's those little things. I mean, yeah, they got the unit refrigerator trains. It's interesting though. You can go in and you can you can't do it there, but I know there's a spot where you can change that. I think it's here. Maybe it's not here. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but no, maybe not. I forget where I saw that. Oh, I know. It was the different types for the Waybills, I think it was. I know it was somewhere. Yeah, it must have been for the industries. You can actually you can actually change these, and I didn't understand what that was all about, or if it was working, or what it was, but it looked kind of cool. But I couldn't scroll down or add any new ones. So, okay, let me just see. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to try it again. So, looks the same to me. Transition sleeper. Wait a minute. That might be a little bit. Isn't there more than one transition sleeper? Sleeping car. Nah, this is the same train. Okay, so it doesn't randomize that. That sucks. I mean, it's better than nothing that there's a passenger, but that's kind of sucks. Kind of sucks that we got the new equipment, you can't use it, or at least you can't put it into a spawn. I guess you're supposed to spawn it. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm looking here. If you wanted to run some of that, you got a Y here. Forget this fuel area. That could go. Get rid of that. But you got the Y there. What about the other side? Can you? You can Y. Don't know if you can Y there. If you're running this way, no, you can't Y. There is no Y. There's the loop. You'd have to use that and then fart around with that, I suppose. But I mean, it's doable. But oh well. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just it'd be kind of neat. It'd be kind of neat, I think, just to have it. But yeah, who knows? I got no problem if a passenger train doesn't spawn up and then somebody wants to run one or spawn up their own custom one. That's fine as long as they get permission ahead of time, and then sure, because I'd like to see them. I really would. Because it's cool because the AI, you get to those ones you can't hop aboard. At least I haven't been able to figure out in version 2. Version 1 you could for some reason, but version 2 you can't hop aboard those. The newer ones you can. The older ones, nope. And I'll tell you, the newer ones, they are so fun to just sit in and just, you're in your train and you're just relaxing. I did this the other night. Was I in single player? No, I was in single player. I actually put a video up on it where I was going through Taft in one of them, and I was just like, oh, this was cool. But okay, so that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start spawning up the manifest trains now. So I'm going to spawn them a little at a time just to give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. So we know it all mixes. It goes by probability of everything else that's in there. So I'm going to relinquish this when I stop. I don't know if I need to do that. I don't think I need to do that. Do I need to do that? No, I don't need to do that. All I need to do is go here, because it's going to give me the length. So it doesn't matter. The symbol has nothing to do with it. It just makes a symbol. So 609427. Okay. $60.94.27. We spawn another one. Well, that's interesting. What's with the none? When did that come into play? Hold on a second. Hold on. What the hell? I gotta see this for a second. So that went to 5176. Did I? Oh, okay. You know what I did? Okay, here's what happened. Let me delete that for a second. I'm doing the wrong... I'm over on main 1. I just realized that. So the train symbol, notice there's nothing for it. So it just it basically picks anything and doesn't apply a tag and does whatever. It totally everything. If you don't specify, it's just going to throw anything at it. And of course, there is no tags. So, I mean, they're just random manifest trains that go nowhere, and they don't have tags on them. You don't need to put tags on them, by the way, if they're just a through freight. There's no reason for it. The only time you need it is if you're going to plop it through a hump or something like that, or have to deal with it. Okay, so I'm on the wrong main. I got to go over to main 2. So now, when I do mix freight and I spawn it, and that picked any type of car too. It didn't pick any. It just did a random thing and said, okay, here you go. So this one's only got 2 engines, which is interesting. Now the auto, that's going to be the auto San Bernardino auto, which we don't want, and I'll get into that a little bit later. So we got 2 on the back and 2 on the front. So I'll just do the symbol lookup thing again. I'm not worried about the order or anything like that. It is what it is. So that's toolbar 1. Woo! 2.1. I like that. That'd be fun to run. 58.97 at 2.1. See, we need more of those. Okay. So do another one, 58.97. So that's doing a 60.74, 2.6. So you see the numbers are going to be about the same, but different enough, right? So now we're getting into 65.82. As far as I know, it doesn't matter how many waybills you have. It's just going to basically give you your average Joe train size, and it's going to distribute the numbers evenly as ratios, just like these do ratios as well. So this one's at 64.30, 2.6. We can do some numbers. I'll show you the car counts if. Oh, I love those engines. Yeah, I want to relinquish this one. They sound like rockets. Come on, give me my engine. Give me my train. There we go. So you're looking at 113 cars there. So this one's got 2 engines. 61.96. And you notice like the front changed a little bit and got like a gondola, steel gondola here. Yeah, you don't have the unit ones. I wish we did, but they don't. So what the one before that was 113. This one's 10 less at 103. So you get the picture. It's basically going to give you a typical train. It's going to randomize it a bit, but what you have in the industries doesn't matter. In fact, and I already tested this about a week or 2 ago. It just basically, if you have 2 industries And no matter how small you make them, the trains aren't going to be smaller and they're not going to be bigger. They're just going to be whatever it is. It's up to you as a host to set things up accordingly. So that's now what we're going to do. We're going to go into the is it the end? Is this the control I? There we go. So now we've got our new industry. Is this the one I want? Maybe this isn't the one I wanted. Okay, so that shows us all the industries, but that's not what I want. There's a add to industry, delete, import industries. That's not what I want. That's to change the configuration. Generate car report. I don't think that's it either, but it might be. Let me just see. Industry can okay. File written. Let me just see what this report looks like if I can find it. That's a user guide. I gotta go back into. Look, it's not. No, I don't want that. Here, okay, go in here. So I'm looking for a file that just got written. I'm gonna go into the regions, maybe. Version 2 roots. And I'll go to regions, Southern California. Today's November 28th. Now I know the configuration's been changing because I've been going in and out of it. Your hump. Okay, here we go. So your industry car report is right here. So instead of me having to go through, or anybody for that matter, if you're using industries or whatever, I believe you can do this on anybody's server as well. Being a client, I think you have access to do this. I don't know if you get everything, but as far as I know, you do. See, there's an industry. Oh, that's interesting. There's an open office. Why is there okay? There's a car report, but I also see an industry configuration file. I don't know where that comes from. Let me see what that is first. So this is the industry car report. I'll open that up as is. Okay, this is only telling me what cars are ready, which is kind of cool. Definitely from an admin standpoint, there's some potential here. So we're looking at yeah. So what? And this is a save file, not the current server, but it basically tells you everything that's there. So when you're going onto a server, you're able to load that file up. And I'll tell you what's the destination, if it's ready, if it doesn't belong, like Borax loader. We have these 3 cars, and this is what I was playing with the other day. How much time's left for the rock unload? We've got some more for some of the SJVR industries that were being switched prior to that. So it's a really neat. That doesn't tell us the story. We don't want that one. Industry configuration's there, but I don't know if that's going to give me the config I want. It is dated November 26th though, which is interesting. Because if it has Borax, no, it doesn't have the. I tried to get it so that it would have the other ones. Now this is really beneficial. I mean, right there you have everything you need. It doesn't get any better than that. So how we get that file, I forget. I know it's in there. That's a generate. Oh, just going into street configuration and bingo. Oh no, that's an export. Well, I'm going to hit it anyways. And just see if that's what did it. I imagine it might. Export. Yeah, that's it right there. So that's how it input. Okay, so it comes in the form of a. So this is where you can export an industry configuration. You can import an industry configuration. But somebody was telling me the other day the data doesn't have all the stuff in it. What's more interesting is I see two files that to me they look like they're the same. I don't get. Oh, you mean I actually went in here and color coded everything? I guess I did this at one point. Why don't I remember this? Wow. I actually went in here and did this, and you know I kind of vaguely remember doing this, but then I didn't do anything with it. Okay. You know I remember doing this too. I just don't remember why I did this. But this is really cool. Now I got to compare the two. Why do I have two files? Am I losing this here, or is this a different type of file, or I'm gonna get up and go to the washroom, and while I do that, I'm gonna stare at my screen and see if I notice a difference, because to me, from where I'm sitting right now, it looks like the same spelling and everything. I don't get it unless it's got to be. Hang on a second. It's got to be a different. I don't know what that is. ASC or something. Okay. Oh, I see. One's a comma delimited, and one's one I actually played around with in OpenOffice. I get you. Okay. Well, I'm going to the washroom anyways. I gotta be back in a couple minutes, and then I'll dive into this some more. So it looks like I was already into the industry configuration. I remember doing that now. I just can't remember why I went into all that trouble. But we'll go through that, and then we'll check out the industries. Okay, so it was neat that I color coded some of that. I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison too, just to see what I had or what's changed, because I must have exported it. I don't know if I exported the original world or what I did there. So we'll open up both of these and take a look. So the car report's cool. It's good for reporting basis, but that's about it. Yeah, okay. There we go. So what I want to do now just go in between and just see what we got. Compare the two as best as I can, and then well, do I want to compare them this way? Actually, I want to compare them the other way. Yeah, so I want to go that way. I'll take the program, put that over here. There we go. You know, it's funny today. I was thinking about how I can't stand Windows, but then I look at this stuff and I'm thinking, yeah, you know, I really couldn't live without it. I'm an old DOS guy. If you guys know what the hell that is. Disk operating system. You used to edit, config, and auto-exec files. You didn't have any fancy colors or any, you know, you just had a black screen and white, and it was cool. So but I mean, it was a different time. Okay, so I already added a different field. I don't even know what the hell that is. 42. So far, I don't know what the hell that 42 is. What is that? AFG RCal 40. I have no idea what those numbers are supposed to represent. Is it totaling up something? Interesting. Alright. Well, the cool thing is I might have a color-coded list, which really makes things a little easier. Although I do want to make some comments. Like that one. Oh, that's interesting. Bar Fresno bar pass. That's neat. That works. I don't know what that 42 is though. Okay, so I'm gonna go one by one. This is really weird. And I know I hate having to go through all of them because we're basically okay, here we go. So what I'm going to do with that is I am going to highlight that red because that's an issue. We don't want tank cars going to Bakersfield. In fact, we don't want oh jeez, we don't want them going to West Colton either. So I'll put these ones yellow because only some of them have to be changed. I don't know where those tank cars are going or supposed to be going, but West Colton, okay, I get that. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. So I'm just looking to see if everything else looks the same. Looks like we're good. See, I got something called borax loader, which that'll change things a little bit, but that's something that I just did the other night. So okay, so I'm just comparing everything that I see here. 90, 120, 72, 24. Oops, what's that? Oh, that's borax. Nine, 2, 3, Savage. There's another West Colton we don't want. Oh, we got that West Colton. We got the other West Colton. So not good. West Colton. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do it on this one. Jesus, Murphy. Just undo it. We can't do it on that. And besides, it looks like, no, did I? I saw it on one. I already got it, oh man, I got yellow already assigned, and oh man, that sucks. Okay, so yellow. I don't know, make it a different shade. Ah, that sucks. How about that? Will that get my attention? Maybe. Wow, I got, you know, there's so much of it here. It's crazy. It's almost every one of them has it, unfortunately. And I don't know what the remedy is for that, or where it's supposedly was supposed to go, but I don't know if there was that much consideration, honestly. Unless they like tagging a bunch of empties, because I don't get it. Okay, so borax is where things started changing. For at least how we did that. What happened was we put in this whole piggyback flat car thing. This one right here. And we called it test only. I mean, you could even type in the word delete me if you wanted to, just in case that came up. Or, you know, you can do whatever. But see, I even have stuff in here. There's bar, there's a Bakersfield, there's San Bernardino, there's all kinds actually. I mean, at this point, I'm not gonna worry about that. I think Mike knows well enough to go through them and to see. I'm just gonna make sure that the counts are the same. I am using something called, like I said, a borax loader, which is totally different than the others. I think, yeah, it's set up for 24. Yeah, so that it really doesn't matter. They're going to be called for the industries as opposed to 0611 now. So this, since this was mine, what I do there is I rename this borax. I'm not going to call it a loader. Borax Industrial. So when it calls for an industry to set out, I mean, you can call it anything you want. See here, you can go so far as fence track. So now you're specifying. I forget which one is it. This one, the lighter one. There we go. So now you're specifying that. And then what you can do there is for the industry, you can actually call it and put that with the BOR. I put IND, but it's going to do piggyback flat car 24 1 loads. If this shows up, yell at Mike. I don't know. That's a tag. I think that's a tag. I think that'll do a whole tag. I don't even know if that'll work. Just put. Don't be a goof. Help. I like help. Yeah. Or yikes. Or I don't know. Delete me. Or just delete me. There we go. I don't know. What's another one I can put in there? RTS error. I don't know. That's all. That's good enough. If RTS error pops up, then somebody can say something, and get our attention. Again, I'm not going to go through each of the tags that's coming up. I'm going to deal with the frequencies and a few other things. Some of these industries I'm not familiar with. We have some numbers, but I'm gonna get. I'll show you a good example of how this works very shortly here. So where are we at? Are we at Cargill Horizon Mills yet? Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So that's a new one. So it used to be at 144. It got up to 8. But and I think this was one of our original ones that we were looking at here. I'm going to, it's now at 12 with 8. I don't know what what is VCW? So with this here, I'm gonna highlight this because it needs to be updated again. What that has to be set for. The 12's okay. Capacity, one of the things that you have to understand about how this works as far as capacity goes. What happens is the hourly thing is just how long it takes to turn it. It has no bearing on the number, the actual demand. The demand for where it's 8 there. It has no demands on it, so it's gonna basically the demand, I should say, is going to start showing up on manifest trains when it sees that. It has no bearing on the actual siding. The siding, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many cars there, it will load them all up. If you have a demand or a capacity of 1, but your siding's big enough to take 8 and you have 8, it will unload 8. The actual capacity figure here has more to do with what it calls as opposed to what it actually loads or unloads. What determines what can load or unload is the actual truck section itself that has been selected, so that if you're not at the particular spot that you're supposed to be, it won't do. And there is an advantage to having a set area. If you make the area too big, such as what, for those of you who are following the boron, if you make the area too big, what ends up happening is it becomes a giant, it basically becomes a giant, what's the word I want to think, staging yard. So anything going to boron would show up at any of the yard tracks and it would magically go from load to unload. That's not how we want to run it. And that's why I started doing the experiments with the industrial switchers to see if it was possible, and sure enough, boom, we got it to work. And that'll work with the coal industry, it'll work with the Cemex, it'll work with any of them. In order to get the likelihood of Cargill not to send grain cars across into mixed trains and only have them in unit trains, you have to reduce the capacity to 1. Just like we did it for the if I go back over to the borax loader for a second. Now I did it for this one, the piggyback flat. I set it for 1, but the fact that it was a piggyback flat that I selected was done on purpose, because I don't think a piggyback flat will come on a manifest train. As far as I know, I haven't seen it yet. I don't see why it would. So, because they have their own trains. Now, mind you, they will work for loading and unloading like it works at San Bernardino, but it doesn't work in the same way. I will go through these industries one at a time. Right now, I'm just comparing what data I have compared to what last I know that was changed. I probably could have done this right on the server, to be quite honest, just to see if anything else had been changed. Probably would have been a good idea, now that I think about it, but I'm not going to do it right now. And if it has changed, then he'll see. Mike will see what my recommendations are, anyways, so he can take it, for however he wants to do or whatever he wants to apply to it. I'm still looking. I'm not worried about the actual. I'm totally working on demand right now. 120 loads 3. So we're up to the 7220 at Edwards. And this will get. I'm going to make some recommendations on some of these industries as well. According to my research, Edwards was not being used in 2010, or wherever I was doing the picture videos. And there's some areas, such as along Cajon Sub, where I haven't done enough research, and there's some areas I have done no research in between the Mojave Sub. What I would suggest, at least for places like Edwards or known industries that very seldom will show the oddball car, is to literally set it to 1. It will show up on time from time for mixed train, provided that the capacities aren't too high for the others to drown out the possibility, because the more capacities you have in total, the less likelihood that it's going to be called. And I'll go through that data and I'll show you what I mean in a moment. But Fitzgerald, I'm just looking at the other ones here. 72, 108, 144 to 3. Okay, we're at Gamera Farms. Again, I'm just comparing what is my latest compared to what has changed. Not my latest, but when I first did this, when I was first on the server, to what actually has changed. I'm not worried about the actual. So it looks like that I actually took a copy of it after he started upping some of the numbers, which was good. So it means I don't have to make, or have to go back in and, well, I just have to write it again, and that'd be fine. Okay, Kaiser Steel. Oh, that's a different one. I was like, what is that? Okay, so I don't even know what the color codes are exactly, so I'm just going to go with white. I think they had to do with the locals, but so Kaiser Steel. and it's done with a gondola 3620. Now it's interesting, it's calling for Pittsburgh. So we're still okay. So that's how he's getting the Pittsburgh train. I'm not too sure how that's going to work, but because we have one that goes in between, but then I don't even know if we have Pittsburgh as a. I don't even know where that would go to be an SF, and then it has to be forwarded because I don't know if we have a Pittsburgh train. It would almost have to go on. If anything, Kaiser would have to hold on to everything and create a train. Maybe that's what he has in mind. I'm not too sure, but it can't be forwarded. Yeah, you wouldn't want to forward that. So again, the capacity. Here's the thing, though, because and this is all about how it's set up again. Because there's a demand, it's going to go ahead and just basically pop it. Now, if you want to get, I'm just trying to think now. See, this is the dilemma we get into because now we're getting into trains that, you're getting into trains that don't exist versus some that do. What happens here? We don't have unit steel trains. It can't be selected as an AI spawn. So what happens is this is actually going to pop up a demand out of the manifest trains, and it's going to pop up anywhere. It could pop up in Bakersfield, where it rightfully should be popping up, but the way the system works, it could pop up in UP. It could pop up down by Kaiser. It could be coming into West Colton, in theory, which is interesting because I don't know what trains we have going in and out of West Colton from the other way, but yeah, it could pop up anywhere. Any place a manifest train, it'll pop up. Again, the numbers they weight amongst all the other ones. So if there's 100 cars on average, which we were seeing earlier, you're basically taking the total number of cars, and the probability of 100 is balanced between all of them. I don't think it, as far as I know, it doesn't balance itself out. Like it doesn't keep track of, hey, we've done this so far, now it's time to do this. I think it's totally random. And every indication I've heard is so far that that's correct. I may be wrong on that. I may have misunderstood, but that's the understanding that I get. Which is fine because that was a simple way of how RTS was doing it as well, except we did a waybill system as opposed to just a random pop-up, and our trains were more specific as to what waybills would be called. The difference between RTS and what Run8 version 2 is doing with the spawns is it's not specifying parameters in regards to when a train pops up, what's going with it. It's just basically generating it. It's bringing it into the system in any way possible, from any source. So if it's coming into the world as a manifest train, it could be coming from anywhere. And that's unfortunately, and I say unfortunate because I'm not negative about this actually at all. I'm totally okay with it. But I know from a realistic standpoint, or knowing that, you know, certain cars, like for example, you wouldn't be seeing lumber coming in from Los Angeles, for example, unless they got a tree farm somewhere. But you know what I mean. You wouldn't be having certain cars. Traditionally, the lumber cars come in on Valbar, and I know that, and that's one of the things that when you take away RTS and you put in this, that's something that you're going with. Now the odd thing is, and I just don't know how to do it. I know Florida's doing it, but I don't think they're dealing with the demand we are. Um, and they're using a hybrid of RTS and the AI system. So I don't think they're. I mean, I know they're spawning. I tried to understand what they were exactly doing. I got the message and I sort of got it, but there's still a side of me that like, okay, I don't know exactly. They're using the registry to track AI trains, but they got a lot more time on their hands as far as tracking this stuff, and they're still able to go through a cycle in a week, which is basically what we're doing now, give or take. Depends if we can get people to show up and for when we want to dispatch, but or when we think is a good time to dispatch. But anyways, I'm yapping. So Kaiser's in there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I'm just looking up here now, just to see what else we got. 108, 150, 6850. Yeah, I just don't want to ramble on too long for this. So hopefully that makes sense. Um, And it gets interesting too because what happens is if you're having unit trains going to these places and you got the capacity up way too high, they're going to drown out your manifest. Like for stuff like this, you're not going to get that coming in on one train. You may not get it coming in on 4 trains. So it can really drown things out. So that whole capacity thing, you get that's got to be taken with a grain of salt. I mean, capacity is something. It has nothing to do with this. That has no bearing whatsoever. This whole time thing has everything to do with how long it's going to take to load and unload in the system clock time. Nothing more. There's nothing more about that at all. So it's a matter of just mastering how it does things, and I can demonstrate that. But we got work to do, so I'm not going to demonstrate it. Just trust me on that. That's as far as I know. That's the way it works. Every indication I've seen from what I've been told, that's the way it works. So yeah, you get like okay. Here's a perfect example. We got Nebo Logistics. As far as I know, they're dead. I never added them into the system only because, as far as I know, they're dead. I don't even know if they're operational. So we got certain industries. And this is the other thing too. If we got too many industries and we're trying to do too much, then here's a classic example of where we need to just basically say, okay, goodbye industry. I'm okay with putting the oddball one if it's a real industry and it's still active, and maybe I'll get the odd boxcar or something in. Like that's what I was thinking of Borax the other night. I was thinking if the intermodal car didn't work and it actually starts showing up a boxcar, what it could actually pop up is an odd boxcar for parts or something like that. So you can trick it, or you can not necessarily trick it, but you can actually have it so that it says, okay, well, let's send us a boxcar, and it just happens to be on the fence track or the yard track, and a truck or a forklift's gone out there to pick up some supplies or something like that. I don't know, like oil or I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, but you compare this. I'm looking at Nebo and I'm comparing at what's coming up to Edison, and I got a funny feeling Nebo and Edison, Nebo might be beating Edison for demand right now. So yeah, stuff to consider. 151, 191. Wow, it's 7:37. I want to have some fun tonight. I don't want to be doing this all night. I mean, really, I do. But we'll see. Hopefully this won't take too long and I can just go through and I don't know. I don't expect Mike to wade through this whole thing. So hopefully I'll be able to get some data and then just say, okay, this is what it's looking like. So again, I'm still comparing what I see. I have no idea what this is. I got something, I don't know what the hell that is. Like, what the hell's a 42? Unless that was a train number or something, or no, it's 41 and 42. I don't know what the hell I was thinking there. I didn't put any comments on it, so I have no idea. 27. Okay. Okay, this is where it splits up into the auto transfer facilities down there. What was that? That concerns me when I start seeing that, because what was that? Wow. I have no idea what that was. I've been losing focus every now and then. Mind you, I haven't seen it today, so I don't know. I don't know what that is. Okay, so I gotta pop this in here somewhere, huh? Okay, so that's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so hopefully, if not, I'll just put it back in, but yeah, this one here, I'm wondering if that should be just an unload thing. Again, again, this is something that I'll red mark this one. So I'll put these as yellow, but I'm gonna red mark it. Ah, crapola. That's what I want. Okay. So, whoa, I didn't want to do that. Was that supposed to be yellow too already? I guess it was. Because I see the refining. That's not right. There's something wrong there. Okay, I'm just gonna put the. Why is that as SBDA? Something. I screwed something up there. Okay, whatever. So yeah, the auto facility. Few things that come to mind right away. I'm going to highlight 226. It's calling for piggyback, flats, or well cars. We used to have the piggyback flats, I think, on 226, and then the containers on everything else, but that's okay. But this one here, my gut instinct here is telling me get rid of the loads and then reassign the bear tables. And I'm okay, you know, I'm all okay for having us doing tagging to a certain extent. And the more I think about it, how easy it is to do the TMU now, and how easy it is to basically use that thing. Let's say this track here comes in, and I say loads because it's just going to empty from now on, and it's going to create a bear table. Because once it empties it, they just become empties. They don't have the containers or anything, instead of having this extra track where it loads everything. Now, that being said, we've got our capacity again. I don't think it matters because they're all coming anyways. No matter what we put on that, as far as I know, they're going to come in at a specific rate regardless. They're just going to come in. In fact, we can test that since I don't know if we have one. Yeah, I don't know if I can test this or not. Let's see. So if I create okay, so here we go. We've got our unit auto rack. Is it coming from there? Is it coming from 2? Oh, there's a little tiny one there. That's why. So Rick, for example, here's a good example. Rick, for example, does not have an industry listed as high priority. So when we spawn that, oh, you can spawn the specific train. I didn't think you could. See, you can't do that in the client menu. I just realized that there. You have that spawn button. Okay. Well, that's cool. So I'll give you an example here. Let's spawn these. So we're looking at the loaded train for Rick. I believe it was specified as loads. Okay. And it threw a caboose in there? You gotta be kidding me. Is it supposed to be doing that? Oh crap, it is too. Oh man, that's sad. I hate cabooses. I mean, they're cute and all, but not in our era. I like them for the switchers, and don't get me wrong, I love seeing them once in a while, but holy crap. Okay, so we just spawned that. Cars are all the same, so 5396 at 3.7. So that's one, 5396 at 3.7. We'll spawn it again. You can see it's gone up to 5585 from 3.6. HPT is totally rated on the priority. We delete that. So remember the lengths, okay? We're going to do the San Bernardino train now. Spawn that. Priority. Same. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure. Ooh, don't do that. I don't want to save that. We'll spawn that. Now that one's high. 7,775. That might throw my theory out. That's a huge train. Now, I have a theory on that. And it has to do with the fact that this one was specified for Tehachapi westbound. What did I... Okay, hang on a second. 7775. Okay, let's see. Let's just try this for a second. Because I know 7775. See, now we're all the way down to 5190. Has nothing to do with demand. If you think it's getting too crazy, then try another one. See what it does. See, now we're at 6387. What's happening is the reason why it's fluctuating. And I'll show you why. The reason why it's fluctuating is because of where it's going. Actually, let me do it on the other one. I'll show you. So if I was to put it down the other way, and I spawn this now, watch what happens. Oops, I'll close that up. Oh, that's at 6244. But still, that's fairly high for what we've gotten so far. Spawn it again. Well, now it's up. Now it's all the way up to 7724. So that goes my theory as far as length. I thought the length had something to do with it, but it's actually more random than I thought. But that's just the whole thing. So you go back to the San Bernardino one. What was that, 8787? Well, that thing's a horse. Wow. Man, isn't that special? But you see, it has nothing to do with the demand, as far as I can tell anyways. I don't see why that would be. Here, I'll just relinquish this for a second. We'll see. Has nothing to do with the demand, as far as I know, even though that was a little higher. Highest one yet, actually. Okay. So we got 89 loads. And if you want to compare, just out of curiosity, and see. Really, this is an apples to oranges comparison anyways, but the auto rack, what did I say? It was 89? Hey, where did my auto go? It's over here, but I didn't... Oh, it's up. Oh, okay. Did I accidentally delete it? No, I guess I did. Okay. So it's calling for 99 cars. I don't think it's trying to max it out. I could be wrong. I don't think it's trying to max it out, but maybe I'm wrong. As far as I knew what I was talking about. As far as I know, that has no bearing. But I'm curious now. So 99 cars. I mean, there's one way of finding out. I think there's a grain train that we can probably find. We should be able to find, I would think. But so it's calling for 99. It's calling for 99 cars there. Holy crap! See, now it's back down to 6871, which isn't nearly as much. $62.90. It seems pretty random for me, but I don't know. If you want to keep testing it, we go. Let's try this one now. Well, that goes down to 56, though. It's interesting. I have. It could be a combination of with the different lines and everything, but why it's got 4 engines going to a thing is beyond me. I don't know. That's interesting, though. The fact that it's getting 5587. All right. Let's see what else we got for different trains. We'll go back to train types. Grain. Do we have unit grain? We got something here. So brie bar is supposed to have nothing but bar, guck. That's supposed to have a combination of Bakersfield, San Bernardino, which is interesting to see how that pops up if it actually does a 2-for-1. I'm not too sure if it does or not. None of them are actually set up for the actual industry for Cargill yet either. I see that. So that's got to be added. Shoot. Do we have the one that goes to San Bernardino? There it is right there. Oh, okay. Well, it does say San Bernardino, so that's the one that's going. Okay, never mind. So, if I was to see, this isn't set up for the industry, so if I was just to spawn that one, that's at 6752. And I look at the makeup of the train. We've got a Bakersfield, and then yeah, a whole whack of San Bernardino. Or San Bernardino. So it looks like it tried to go over. Let me just try one more. But it blocks it the way you set it up to be. Yeah, see here, now there's your San Bernardino, right? So yeah, it's distributing. There's your Bakersfield in there, so you're getting. Yeah, you're getting 1/3 and then 2/3. So that's how the distribution would work. I don't think it changes anything. I mean, you guys can experiment you want with that, but I don't think so. I just do not think it's going to make a difference. So, anyways, I didn't want to go into that so much, anyways, as I do want to get into some of the other data that's important that we get into. So, 7:57. This sucks. I don't want to be doing this all night. So, let's just keep going. I know I've got some set up why do I got that specified twice? I think I accidentally typed that in twice too, or something. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. There's no way it's in there twice. 108 and 10. I did something wrong, or I copied something, or I don't know what the hell I was doing. But anyways. Okay, let's go right to SCC. Oh yeah, I was gonna specify that. So for this, I would definitely put this down. Hopefully that means make it colder. And then I'll put that to stop. Because I honestly don't think it has any bearing. I don't think it's going to mix up anything either, which is really interesting because when we go into comparing what the actual mix of the trains look like, I don't think it's going to take into consideration those numbers. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't think so because I haven't seen an intermodal car. So that to me has that whole demand thing. I just don't see it being part of the you know, unless I'm wrong, somebody can tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think so. But we'll see. 557-845-7552. Ten 333 449 1616. That's it. Wow, okay. That's going to be quicker than I thought. Alright, so now that we got that, yeah, I'll discard that because I don't know what the hell I was doing. So I don't know what the issue is. Okay, I know what the issue is there. We know what the issue is. That's capacity. We want that out of there. Are we actually getting the cement coming in on... I guess we are getting it coming in on manifest. I had to think about if there was an actual... if there was an actual... yeah, I know what I'm thinking. Speaking of actual, I do want to check out something. Because there's one where there's a unit train and it doesn't make much sense to me. Where was it? Of course, I'm not going to find it now. Alright, whatever. So here's a interesting example. This is what, you know, when I think about this, I honestly I scratch my head because I don't know exactly. When we loaded up that world, that Barstow world, there was a mix between the newer symbols that are generating by the program and these older ones. But here's an example. I have not seen a well car, an empty well car. I mean, I haven't seen one. If I look around Barstow, there isn't empty well bars or well cars sitting around. It doesn't. It just does not generate them. So again, what the hell is that? Now, is it bringing grain in? I'm not 100% sure of that either. But I'm going to put this as red because I don't buy that. Oh, that's an orangey color. I believe I do have. Did I get the right color yet, or what the hell am I doing? It just looks weird because the pinkish is making it a lot brighter. But that is red. Yeah, because I haven't seen any well cards. I've seen covered hoppers. And if I go on the server, I could probably find some of those. You know, if I look around and see a train, you know, I'm probably going to find some of those. So, okay. So what I'm going to do, I might put this into a sheet. I don't know if I can do that. Can I just throw that into a sheet and copy it, and will it actually do it? Well, let's see. What else have we got? Locomotive fuel sand is, you know, it's again, it's demanding 4. Okay, whatever. Takes forever to empty it. All right. Again, whatever. Wind tag, whatever that is. Again, I don't know some of these tags, and that's something that I don't know if West Colton's dealing with what they're seeing, or they're putting them out on different trains or what. I can go through all the different other ones. Elcal 11 Tetra. Yeah, stock building store or whatever. That's another local for Jastro. Riverside Cement. Again, this is something where you put an industry switcher in here and then you switch it off. But I gotta take a look and see more about those. Progressive Rail Service, Paramount Petroleum. I thought we had some other industry that did some goofy local thing or something, or was a unit train. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay, so what's going on here? It's calling up a demand of 15 empty cars that loads once in a while, and eventually it makes why is it called U Lackback? This is, I honestly, and I'm trying to be. I saw this symbol when I first came in, and I was like, "What the hell's a U Lackback?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. There's a unit train that makes sense, but why would it be U Lackback? Why is there a unit train going from Los Angeles to Bakersfield when it's actually going on a manifest train?" It's they're actually tank cars that show up on manifest trains as empties. I think it's supposed to be a U backlack. Not that way. At least that's the way I get it. That empties will slowly come in, and then all of a sudden we send a unit train off to Los Angeles. I guess. I don't know. I just don't know. And I have seen some of these cars show up in Barstow, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, whatever. Let's see. Anything else? Hondo, yes. Hesperia Wholesale Lumber, Centervere Flat Car, Halliburton. Blah, 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 blah. Greenstone Solutions. Oh man. This is where we gotta look at the industries and say, okay, what the hell are we putting in here? I mean, come on. I already saw the Brad Brown something or other. Yeah, Brown's Lager Company. Is that a real industry? Doesn't sound like it. It's just my guess. Yeah, Amber Chemical. So again, I mean, you know, you're looking at what's coming in off of these. So um, that's not an issue. I'm going to delete that because that is not an issue. What that is we figured that out. It has to do with the capacity. We weren't too sure when I first did this. I was like, is this an issue? Like, why are we getting empties and loads? Well, you have to bring that down to 1 so you barely get any, and then you just run the unit train back and forth and you'll be fine. It'll load, it'll empty, it'll do everything it's supposed to inside the confines of whatever. And I'm not too sure if we need an open hopper or if it, yeah, open hopper. Well, when you get into, like, I guess the only thing you can do is an open hopper because they got it as coal right now. And we know it's a ballast thing, but I don't think we have the ability to load and empty ballast hoppers. I don't think. Let me see this for a second. Whoa, that was cool. Okay. So, piggyback flats. Do we really need passenger car, I wonder? Like, do we really have passenger cars going anywhere? I don't know. So we got acid tanks. We figured those work. Auto racks, yes. The Amtrak auto rack car. Like, does this go down any? You see what I'm saying? All right. I don't know where it gets this name from. But when I see ballast, that makes me wonder. Well, you want to play? Oh wait, ballast hopper. Okay, it's sitting right in front of my face here. Isn't it ballast that comes from that quarry? Not whatever else is supposed to be down there. I just saw that. I was just like, because I was looking at the different types. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a ballast hopper. The gondolas are interesting because the only difference is when you're looking at the trains. So you see, this you can modify, or you can, or we used to be able to. So you can do something with that. Whoops. But I won't. It's the actual. Where is it here? Yeah, you get into the train types, and you can't add a new. I wish I could go down further, but I can't. So you don't have a ballast, or you don't have your unit. You got a unit coal, unit grain, unit oil. We could get rid of the unit refrigerators if, for whatever reason, it would work, but it doesn't because it's hard coded to those particular trains. So, unfortunately, right now at least you can't. Like, what the hell? I mean, a light power move. I mean, yeah, okay, but we're gonna have enough of our own light power moves, I think. At least coming from Barstow, because we got a lot of them right now. So, all right. So, like I said, that we can change. That would go out. Want to look at a few more things here. Yeah. Let's go back into this here for a second. I'll keep this minimized over that away. And I pulled the wrong damn file up again. I'm getting hungry. Wow, it's 8 o'clock. So what I'm going to do now, just out of curiosity, I'm looking at the different types. So I'm going to do a 4. You see the numbers I'm pulling up here? I know these are coming into play. Boxcars do, gondolas, tanks, lots of tanks. Holy crap. Ancon one takes, oh, that's time. What am I looking at here? Okay, 30. That's a 3. It's a lot of tank cars for Amber Chemical, though. Holy crap. 3, 4, 2, reefers, 7. Big Rock Creek Vulcan. Open hoppers. Wow. Yeah, I think I've been seeing a lot of those. So 67, 1, 28, 28, 28, 3. I think that's an 8. 4. 50, 50. 20, 20. 2, 2. I just want to make sure that and the reason why I'm copying it over here, I'll show you in a minute. 5. What the hell? That was weird. 2, 2, 6, 1, 3. That one didn't go for some. Why is that doing that? That's the weirdest thing. I don't know why that's doing that. It was just like disappearing. I don't know why. It just was. Edwards Air Force Base, 20 cars. Oh my god. 2, 2, 14, 6, 5, 5. 1, 1, 9, 3. 3, 3, 6, 6, 6, 6, 3, 4, 10, 12, 15, 5, 4, 20, 5, 2, 10, 2, 3, 5, 2, 5, 2, 2, 7. I gotta pay attention to make sure that there's not some weird cars in there that are popping. Actually, there will be, because I know of at least one. Maybe not Edwards, but no, I'm not quite there yet, am I? Holy crap, where am I? Oh, there it is up there. That piggyback flat, I'm deleting that one because it's not going to call it. There is another place that I'll double check. I'll go through the car types when I do this, because right now I'm just kind of paying attention to what's over there. There's a reason why I'm not including that in this particular field, because I don't want them figured into an average. 3, 8, 15, 25, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 12, 1, 1, 1, 3, 8, 1, 5, 2, 8, 12, 24, 2, 3, 10. Notice it had nothing to do with time elapsed. I'm just putting those numbers in. Covered hoppers 4, 4, 3, 8, 27. 2-bay covered hoppers for RSV. Really? Okay. Yeah, so auto racks, yeah, they're in there. They're in there right now, but this is part of the problem, and we haven't updated it, so I'm gonna add it to it. But you'll see what happens when you start taking some of these out. You're with unit trains that are going in and grabbing 99. You're really weighing your average out, I think. But I don't even know what our sum is yet, to be quite honest. So piggybacks and wells we don't have to worry about. 10, 5, 5, 7. Eight, 4, 5, 7, 5. What the hell's that? Oh, tricore. 52. Holy crap. 1, 5, 10, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 9. Again, there's a well car in there, so okay, so now I'm going to do a sum statement of everything from J2 to J150. Look at that demand. 1,189. Now, this is where it gets scary. Because you have such a freaking high number, things are going to get... You're basically needing to get the capacity that it's asking for. You're basically needing 12 trains. You're needing 12 manifest trains. Maybe 11, let's say. So you see that 1189. That's the overall. And if I was to put the likely percentage, so if I was to put equals J2 divided by 1189, let's just say times 100. Well, that isn't coming up very good, but let's say I do this. That came up to 0. Really? Why did it come up to 0? That doesn't make sense. Something ain't right there. Oh, okay, wait a minute. It's not J2. It's J3, you dork. I'm only like, why is it coming up as that? That didn't make any sense. Okay. There we go. Now we'll get so now I did it as an average 100 car train, and I'll show you what happens now. So you can see the average times a 4 will come up on a train is, you know, basically 1 out of every little whatever. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna view this off here for a second. Can I do that? Do I really want to do that? Do I care? Probably not. Okay, I'm gonna put this, actually, you know something, just so that we can get it in there. I'll put this over here. And then I'll format this. I can't see because it's too small. I had the text a little bigger the other day, and then I was just like, yeah, forget it. Format those. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, that's, yeah. I'm still used to the other one. Time, date, currency, user. What do you mean user defined? Here, how about this? Are you happy with this? All right, you're happy with that. That's good. I'm glad you're so happy. All right. So now I will pop. Yep, that's what I want to do. I just want to have it nice and simple, not too big. So I'm going to pop in one of those trains again, just a manifest train. I'll show you. I'll show you how this thing works, or how I think it works. How about that? Why can't? Oh, there we go. Spawn trains. So we're needles. We're why are we in refrigerator? Mixed freight. Really doesn't matter what train we spawn. I'll just hit spawn now. So we'll play a little experiment here. I forget if I can do something with this. Yeah, let me acquire it. Okay. That's not what I want. What I want? Here, how about this? I didn't get it. No, I thought that gave me a list. I thought there was one that gave me a list of your train or some stupid thing like that. Export switch list. Problem is I don't have all the damn industries. I wish there was something that told you what everything was, but unable to write to file. Okay, yeah, whatever. What do I want to do? Oh, I know what I can do. I can do it. I can do it a few different ways here. What I can do is I can go like this, and I can go like that, and then I think I can copy player train to that. But that wasn't exactly what I wanted. That ain't what I want. Okay. Clear that. That. This. Tagger. That's what I want. Ooh. That's neat how it does that. Funky. So, I don't know if it does it in any particular order other than loads and all that other kind of crap, but we'll try to play through here and see. So it produces empties. We're looking for, first one I see is 101, or HWL, so the center beam flat car. Oh damn, these things aren't in the. Oh, this is what I don't get. It doesn't like me when I start typing like or hitting buttons like crazy because it gets all upset and says yeah. So now I gotta find the stupid. I thought this was in alphabetical order. It kind of is, but then it goes into its own little world, I think. Like, what is HWL? Oh, it is there. Okay. I'm sorry. So normally I'll call half a car per 100. So it's called 1. Okay. I go back up to CMX, yes. And we're looking at our open hoppers. And we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open hoppers. Okay. And this is interesting because that, or wait a minute, no. I said it was going to be interesting because it always puts the loads first, so anything that has an empty, so there's your 6, right? And average 4.21, so it's a little bit above. And then we go to the tank car, we go to Geo. So Geo has 1. Got industry boron, the acid tank car. Now the law of averages may work for some things, but other things may not work as good. So the acid tank, we want an acid tank car. Look at the capacity, it's got 28, right? And it's got 28 capacity, but it's going to do 1 here. And then we go over and find TET. Where are you? Another acid car. It's got 1 car. Then we got a bunch of, we got PRS and PRS, SBS. It's interesting that they are actually, the more I'm looking at it now, they are actually sorted as was indicated. They are sorted by train type, which is kind of interesting. Actually very interesting. Excuse me. Of course, once you get empties and loads and you mix them together, then it doesn't really matter at the hump. But so PRS. I don't know if we want to go through a couple of these or not, but you can see just from a programming point of view, I can see the similarities that are happening now. That they are random. What the heck is that? SBS? Oh, there they are. So SBS is there's an exception where it actually called more than 1, and it happens because it's random. So it can just like the manual says, or the instructions, or whatever the heck you want to call them, it will do it. CTI. Now CTI, that's an interesting one. There's like a 0.17 potential for that. And they only have a capacity of 2, but this train's bringing us 1. So we go into boxcar with Mon. Oops. Look at that. Am I doing CTI Mon? Yeah, so 1 boxcar there, and then there's 2 open hoppers, which see now you're getting into the averages again. So that's double that, right? Back to CTI. Not too sure why it went from 1 and then it came back for it. It's interesting. That's kind of interesting. Oh wait a minute, no it didn't. I just can't read. So it's supposed to be POC. I don't know what the heck I thought I just read. So Oh, excuse me. POC 2 tank cars. So that's again, that's a little bit above the average. GRN's looking for 3. Yeah, that's quite a bit above the average actually. 0.76. It's almost it's over 3 times. So that's well above the average. Sun looking for a covered hopper. Just one. Cargill, I think. Yeah, is that? Oh, I don't know if that's Cargill or whatever that is. Oh, why is that not working? I don't know why that. Some of them just you type in the number, it doesn't do nothing. And again, I'm further away from my monitor, so I can't tell what the hell it is. Damn, I'm getting hungry. Try's got 2 tanks. So again, the average is 4, so that's a little bit below. It's only calling for 2. Again, it's going to empty all of those, so we're 29 cars in. Whoops. I guess I'll go that way. Looks like Paramount Petroleum, I think it is. Or, yeah. That's interesting. So is that actually going to Newberry? Interesting. I like some of the online industries. That's kind of cool. Actually, I think that's really cool. Okay, PMT. Okay, it's got one open hopper. There you go. One open hopper and 2 tank cars. Now again, it's still random. This is random, but it's just like casinos. Okay. The casinos are random, but they set the odds. So what you're seeing. What the hell's that core? Oh, okay. It's kind of out of pack. 2 for pack. But it's so much easier to instead of remember how we used to have to tag. I mean, I know some people are still doing it, but it was so hard. Such a I don't miss doing that. Look at that one. So there's one that only gets 1, and yet it called it. So even when you set it at 1, there's a chance it's going to call 1 for you. So yes, you could still have a loaded thing of ballast pop up, or an empty thing of ballast pop up for that quarry. So it is possible. Covered hoppers 1. SCM. We're gonna get into the juice of this, and I'll show you why some of these have to be adjusted. SCM. Oh man, where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. It is a center beam flat for 1. We're getting into the yeah. So we've got Yermo. NL? What the hell's that? I don't know what that is. Why local Yermo? Am I missing something here? Oh, there it is. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, this one's interesting. So it's calling for 2 boxcars. It's calling for 2 refrigerated cars, but yet, you know, the average there. So see, it does vary a bit, but it's got nothing to do with this here. See, that has no bearing on it. So that's ones you got 120s and a 90. It has nothing to do with that. So as far as I know, it doesn't. That's what I've been told. Whoops, my program just crashed. That was cool. Did I close it? I didn't think I closed it. I thought it crashed. How many cars are on this train anyway? So we'll go with 41. About 100. AFG is calling for 1 boxcar. And the other thing too is I don't know if there's a split where it actually goes into. See, it's how it's calling for the others right now. Boxcars, nope, not yet. It's still unloading. So AFG's got 1. COF. There's 1 for Bakersfield. Gotta change those. And RSV. RSV has open hoppers for 2. And I mean, I could generate another one just to see how the data works, if it actually randomizes them enough, but I'm pretty confident that it does not keep. I have no evidence that it keeps any data of what it generates and how it generates it, or what it hasn't given lately, or anything like that. I just don't have any evidence of it. And from what I'm told, it's just a ratio. That's all it is. See, Vulcan's got a boxcar there. That's interesting. I'll be curious if it actually comes back. And, okay, that one's only a 1.25 I was thinking it was going to do was it the ballast hoppers, or there was another one? There was another one in there that was pretty high. Oh yeah, I can see if they're empties or loads, or sorry, they are loads right now, sorry. I'm looking at it, GUI, Cano. Still boxcars here, we covered hopper, okay. 1. Covered hoppers for cargo. That's interesting. CGL. This is CRG actually. What is that? Did they change the letters? I don't even know what that is. Wait a minute. So what is what here? Oh, that's oh, okay, so it's CRG, so it's not CGL. So that's interesting. Called for 4. Again, it's a little bit random, but I assure you it is. Well, I don't assure you anything because I didn't program the thing, but I'm pretty positive that. See, it's lost its thing again. I don't know if I was in there or not, but I think I was. It's sort of, for some reason this thing loses focus lately. why it is. ADM. I don't know what that's supposed to be. ADM's got one tank car. Now here's where it gets goofy. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6 auto cars that are just popping up for some reason, and that's because of, if you don't want them showing up on manifest trains, you take them out, because it's going to call for an average of 8 every time. That time we were lucky and only called for 6, but we don't. I don't want them. I mean, they can. You can have them show up, but you're going to get a lot of extra auto traffic coming in, especially if you have a unit vehicle train already going there. You don't want that. So that's where you have to take. That's why I put these in red. Same intermodals. It doesn't. I don't think it matters. You can keep it in there and see what happens, but I don't think it's going to make a difference, to be honest. Be curious to see if it does make a difference with the units, but I don't think it does. I think it splits them to the number of tags it sees. So if it sees two, just like that grain train where it saw 2 in Bakersfield and 1 at the other, that's what it does. But then again, that wasn't an industry, so it's kind of interesting to see what it would do for the other. Okay, so here's the end of the load empty split, and it's what is it at? It is right at car number 60, so it's about halfway. I don't know if it purposely splits off the loads and empties, or if it just keeps going. So 2 covered hoppers. But as I was saying, you don't see, even though you got a call for well cars, you're not going to see them. Mind you, that was a load, so we're almost there. I don't want to. I could do another test on how it does it, but blah, 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 blah. Maybe once I make some recommendations too, I'll bring it down a bit. What the heck? Where was my mind here? Oh, okay, MCC. So let's call for 1 each, or 1 each of 2 bay covered and an open hopper. The beautiful thing about this that I like is that the way it does it, there's times where some industries aren't going to get it. So that part I like. But then again, it was kind of doing it. The difference here is it's calling it on a per train basis, as opposed to RTS. What RTS called the waybills for was on a world basis. What I like about it, the difference between the two, is it already randomizes the number of cars that's going to appear on a train. So it gives no indication to waybills. What it does is it goes totally. RTS was a waybill generated system, whereas this is a car forwarding system. Mine was a car forwarding system, but it was based on waybills. This is based more on car forwarding, so it's not waybill based. I don't know how to explain that other than it has no bearing on the shipper and consignee so much as it has bearing on simply tagging. So it'll tag it to somewhere, and that's all it does. It doesn't care about waybills. It doesn't care about stuff like that. So, but it's fine. It serves its purpose, and you can use you can simulate waybills by doing the tags properly. So that doesn't matter. Was I going to MCC? I already went to MCC. Okay, so back to CMX again. That's a little surprising. And then again, like I said, there's some randomness in there. Look at boxcars. Go back up to boron. And, just one there. Keep in mind, this is only one inbound train, so Kaiser is going to be, yeah, see, Kaiser's one of the bigger ones, if I recall. So what happens there is if you make something that has a lot, and you're not running a unit train, or you can't run a unit train, which in this case you might not be able to, that's what happens. Now, mind you, that isn't so bad. Really makes you wonder sometimes if it's actually a lot smarter than it looks. Somebody was telling me that it seemed like it was balancing or something, but I don't think so. I think it's just, I think it's coincidence, I really do. I could be wrong. But so far, other than some little oddballs like that, see, I thought Kaiser was a lot bigger. And then now we're going to 2 bay covered hoppers for, see what I mean? There's your 3. See, it's called 2.10. So a law of averages says it will go back to its root. What you risk doing, though, is if you go totally on capacity alone as opposed to demand. Capacity and demand are 2 different things. Capacity is how much cars can hold in a siding. This program does not care about capacity. As far as the capacity of the siding, all it cares about is demand. So capacity, if that's the term that's used, and I think it is a bad word. It should be demand. Because that's what it's really about. It has nothing to do with capacity. It's a misleading word in there. I'm not sure. I'm sure they didn't mean it that way, but that's. I look at that and think, whoa. KRS. So KRS 1. There's. But it's just pulling, car for each industry type thing. Now we get into the more interesting ones here. It's nice that So I got the industry I just pulled the other day. I haven't seen a train for a while since for out here, but. So I got 2 bay covered hoppers. I got 6 empties. And again, it's calling 2.27, so there is some variation. That's fine. Vulcan's got a ballast hopper. For Savage, and then we got the big one. The rest of Vulcan. Okay, am I missing something? What the hell is it? I might have missed it. See, I see VU. Have to do a search. Why is there a BNSF tag? Oops. it's Big Rock Creek. Oh, okay, it's alphabetical in that sense, but it's got nothing to do with the. Uh oh, what did I lose there? I thought I lost something. So Big Rock Creek is calling for 5.63 on average, and what do we got? 3, 4, 5, 6. See what I mean? Somewhat predictable. Wait a minute, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I think I did the other ones there. Okay, we're almost at the bottom now. Finally. And I'm not going to do another one. I think I've proven the point, and it would do it again. I don't believe it's. What the hell? I did a search on that, but I guess I didn't. Oh, there it is. Covered hopper. So again, there's one that's not called very often. You do get them, but the more data that you put in there that can potentially distort it, like autos, or stuff that you really don't want getting cars like this, like for example the rock quarry, you don't want stuff coming in there, that's for sure. GUIs, we've got a refrigerator car. Now there was some assumption. I don't know if it's assumption or based on people trying to figure things out. We're saying that it actually had the capacity or the ability to learn what was in the system. It took a while, I think, was one of the terms I heard, but eventually it does. I don't have any evidence of that. And a refrigerator car there. So, yeah, that's that one. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm just going to keep that minimized for a bit. It's in single player, so shoot, I don't want to do that. I'm so used to what the heck, how did I get that? Crap. I don't like that window. I don't know how I got it. Exit. Oh crap. I don't know, whatever. I hit F3. Whoa, jeez. Stupid programs. Okay, so it popped up. I don't even know how I got that to pop up. My God, what is that? Okay, I'll deal with it for now. Just extra crap I don't want to see. So I'm looking through my train right now just to see if there's any anomalies, but like, tank cars for AMC, you would think that would call something, but it didn't. Speaking of the, see, this is where it's interesting. There are cars out there, so is it smart enough to know? I don't think so. But, maybe you do your own data and you find out. 1.68, for example, 1.18. But to me, it looks like, here, there's some high probabilities for at least one car. This one was like really off, but I don't know. It still called some, so it couldn't have been totally out of demand. 0.67. Let's see, this one's a 6. Yeah, okay, that's a 6 too, but, nothing really strikes me as alarming. Yeah, I do see some variation, and I'll give you an example. What RTS used to do is if it had 1,000 waybills, it would it would generate 1,000 random numbers. So it would pick a number between 1 and 1,000. What did that mean? You ended up getting, sometimes a waybill would get called 4 times. Other times it would not get called at all. The law of averages say it would be called once. That's on a law of averages, because law of averages says on average you're going to be called, each waybill will be called once if it's totally, perfectly, absolutely even random. It never is though, because you have a random number generator, and then it competes for probability. See there? See, I lost it again. I was not in there, and then I just lose my focus. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's still doing it. That's crazy. I don't know what program is actually in there taking away my focus. I don't know. It could be Run8 for all I know, but maybe I should pop that back in. But so I gotta save this file. Oh man. I will post my findings. It's 9 p.m. Eastern. I am going to take a quick break, maybe. Maybe I'll go back on at, let's say, around 9:15. I think I'll come back on and I'll take a look at Barstow, possibly. 9:15, 9:30. Now, last night I said I was going to come back on, and I didn't. I'm actually got the energy tonight, so, and I'm in a pretty good mood, so that's a good thing. So I saved that file. It's still there, and yeah, go away. He's too noisy. So, anyways, I'll end this part of the live stream for now. I'll probably come back at around 9:15, 9:30. Probably going to pop onto the California server. So I'm going to take a break, get myself a little bit of bite to eat, and I will see you in a little bit. Yeah, I'll post my findings. So maybe about 9:30. Give it about a half an hour, and then we'll see if I can get a plan started for Barstow. Maybe I'll do some humping or something like that, because I got a funny feeling. I don't know how much action's been done there, so we'll deal with that. And okay, so I'll see you about 9:30, about 30 minutes from now, and we'll do another live stream. See you in a bit.